Hi, this is Erin again with ECKOArt, Echo Certified Sound Healing, Transcendent Lux Lucis, Psychic and Paranormal Coaching, and Infinitus Lux Lucis. And I have done quite a few videos doing a personal project. Basically, I'm trying to recreate work that I did about a decade ago and lost a lot of it. And I am expanding upon the work that I did about a decade ago that I lost, trying to recreate research that I'd done before, and I'm documenting other things that I'm finding in the process because there's a lot I didn't get to before. So the purpose of this video is I want to show a direct line from myself back through to a few key people that I had previously mentioned that were in my ancestry. So, what I'm going to do here is kind of scoot through the beginning of this back to a certain point in a bit of a hurry, but not in a hurry, but it's kind of long, so I want to just get to it. Whoops. I want to come back down here. Okay, so I went out here, down through here, and went out through the keys line again, which I was just doing the other day out here. So I'm going to start going along here, and then I'm going to zoom it out because otherwise it'll take a long time to get there. But we go through a line of a whole bunch of chainies at one point too. I'm not sure if I closed that branch or what, but anyway. Oh yeah, there's the chainies. A bunch of chainies. And I followed that out quite a little ways. Oh, I guess I didn't close that branch. I have been doing so much research into my ancestry that sometimes I get a little bit mixed up on where I'm at, which is why it's wonderful to be able to document it this way, because for the research purposes, you can retrace it. Here's where we're getting into what I was going to show you, which is Ragnar Lothbrok. Ragnar and Aslaug. Ragnar and Aslaug through Sigurd, and I have found previously both Sigurd and Ivar, not this Ivar, that's a different Ivar, but I have found descendancy through Sigurd and Ivar before. There might have been a third one too. The other, I can't remember what the one other son, there's two other sons of Ragnar had 4 sons with Aslaug, and then he had obviously a son with Lagertha. I may have found a connection to him and Lagertha yesterday in a different area. This is a completely different branch. So, anywho, I didn't get to explore that one yet, but here's where I am right now. So we've got Sigurd, Snake in the Eye, and then if we go back here, now again, you'll start to notice kings everywhere. Kings, queens, king, princess, queen. And it's just, once you get into where there's kings and queens, it's like there's just more kings and queens. That's just the way it worked. There's a king of Russia. I don't know anything about some of these people, so again, I'm documenting it so that I can research. Amazon. Oh, that'll be something to look into. Definitely gonna look into that, but I want to get to the point here. Well, the rest of the point. Why I'm recording right now instead of doing something else I was going to do. More kings. King of Denmark. Also, I am descendant of Rollo, who is not actually Ragnar's brother, and he was from Denmark. Queen of Denmark. King. I mean, normally I do this over all of them, but this is going to be a little bit more brief right this minute. So, be interesting to look into some of these names, but I don't have time to do that right this second. King of the Danes. Ah, Odin. Again. Odin again. So, there you have it. And Freyja, or Frigg is how it was written, but Freyja is usually listed with him. In this case, whoever it is didn't put her there, but I'm sure that's who belongs there would be Freyja. Perhaps I'm mistaken, but I doubt it. So, I wanted to document that, and we're going to stop the video for right this minute. Okay, so I want to document that I came back and we were just out this branch here, so I've come back and extended this to see what's here, and this is what we've got there. Okay, I'm going to pause this and take a look at this. Okay, so I've taken a few minutes to extend this branch out, and I found something really cool. So we have another long line of Jarl. I think that's how you say it. That's basically a Viking king, like a Norse king. Like, that's what I remember from the TV show, which was not completely historically accurate, but some of the stuff was real. And there's a petty king and a petty queen. I'm not sure what makes you a petty king and petty queen, but okay. And there's another king. That's interesting. Wait till you see what is at the end of this. It's definitely worth waiting till we get there. Another king. Another one. Some of these people are probably really interesting, so it'll be something to start to look into them. I know there is cool stuff here in these, but I just don't know the names that well, so I'm not really sure who they are, but it's definitely going to be something cool, kind of like probably looking at the Tuatha Dé Danann in Ireland. I don't know if I got this one. There we go. The Ancient Giant. I don't know if he's a real giant or not, but let's click it and look, because I haven't done that. Bring up the sidebar and have a peek. I don't know, maybe it won't have anything, but... Finland. You know, I mean, maybe it's me, but that math looks a little... He lived a long time. And again, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, it's definitely worth paying attention to them and going and watching them, because there's so much stuff that people don't think is real because we've not been told the truth. And some of it might be exaggerated and some things might be this, that, or the other thing, but there's truth underlying all of it in every culture that we are not being told about. And that is why it's important for people, if there is any way they can possibly do so, to trace their ancestry. Don't just get a DNA test. You can get a DNA test. I have a relative that got one that should have similar DNA to me, and what she did was get information that confirmed a lot of the research that I've done. However, it's only going to be about 1% of her actual DNA. Like, they can, or her actual ancestry. There's all these other people that you're not knowing anything about. So, it's really important if you can trace it back to do that. It really, really is. So, I mean, I just did a video about Chinese ancestry that I found that I have, and emperors and so forth, and the time period that it goes back to is known by, there's a modern day production called Shenyun, I think, and they do this whole big production, and the basis of it is that they're bringing forth a time period that's long forgotten from Chinese history, where before the dictatorships, there were magical beings and gods that walked the earth. And I mean, that's in their history too. All of these cultures have this stuff. And then they say, oh, but those beings didn't really exist. People didn't pop out of nowhere. They didn't just pop out of nowhere. If you trace them back, there's something to it. Okay, so anyway, rant over, but definitely go watch some of my other videos, because I found some interesting things. And this is a website that will definitely put Adam and Eve from the Elohim. So, I mean, there's a lot of Adam and Eve and the Elohim. That's good. But there's other cultures that had other things recorded, and you need to know what those are. Anyway, so this is something to definitely look into, because I don't know if he's a really, really giant, which I won't get into my more metaphysical, esoteric stuff right now, but I can believe that they existed, as strange as that sounds, because I have experiences not everyone else does. So if you want to know about those things, there's playlists about that on my channel. But for the purposes of tracing ancestry, this is pretty fascinating. I don't know what the picture's going to be. Let's zoom in and have a look. Oh, there's an actual, supposed to be a picture of a guy. Huh. I'm not even going to try to say that name. But, there we go. So I'm going to pause this and we'll see what else I can find. Okay, so we were here just now, and I have gone down and extended this branch, and this is what's here. So I'm just getting that on here. Okay, so I have, oops, I started at the wrong spot, but, oh no, where did it go? Oh, hold on a minute. I'm not sure what I did. I think I came from this branch down to this branch, but, which I definitely have done, but at any rate, here I'm going to, yes, these are the same people here, so I'm not going to try to figure that out right this minute. Occasionally that does happen, and usually there's a good reason for it, but sometimes they just have a missing link. However, it's probably not a missing link. So, these people go... I don't know anything about them, so I would have to definitely do some looking them up, some research, because I just don't know. You know, somebody could put in like some kind of a video game name here and I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about them, so I would look them up. But another line that goes back to the ancient giant. Okay, so I've looked him up, and on this site, here is what it says about him. And you can pause it to read that if you'd like. And then down here it says, his legend comes out of the Norse, oh boy, Orkneyinga saga? I don't know. So, if we want to learn more about him, that's where we're going to find it. So I will probably look that up and do something with it a little later. He has 15,000 blood relatives according to this website. Well, I'm going to add this to my other video that just cut out on me. So, this is on a website called norsespirit.com, and it's a blog. So I just want to, this is not my work at all. All the credit goes to whoever that is that owns this website. But I wanted to get something that's not just Wikipedia. So it says he is the father of Keri, the symbol of wind, Logi, the symbol of fire, and Aegir, I think that's how you would say it, the symbol of the sea. He is also said to have been the founding father of Finland. He's a giant in Norse mythology. It says in the second section of the Song of, I don't know if it's Humil, in the Old Edda, Aegir is called a rock dweller, a giant, in parentheses. I'm really tired right now. Okay, I'm going to cut that out and fix that. In the second section of the Song of Humil in the Old Edda, Aegir is called a rock dweller, a giant, who resembles the child of Miskarblindi. I don't know how to say that. And it is thought that this Miskarblindi may be another name for Fornjot. Fornjot. I don't know how you say it. He is furthermore, according to a peculiar legendary genealogical tradition, the earliest identifiable direct ancestor of William I. In addition, he is considered to be the ancestor of a branch of a number of noble European families, as well as of modern Icelanders traced through other imaginary descendants. Okay, here's the thing. They didn't pop out of nowhere. I hate to keep saying this, but they didn't pop out of nowhere. prove that they're imaginary. That's all I'm going to say, because you can't. These people didn't just pop out of the ether, okay? They came from someone. And if they're telling you that their tradition is that they came from this person and this person, and in every single culture you've got the same thing going on, it's kind of like the pyramids, you know? Nobody was in touch with each other, and they all had the same thing going on. Somebody benefits from trying to take that history away from every single culture. We're not going to get into why I think that is. So, they can call them imaginary descendants, but where are they going to suppose that you came from? It's insanity. It's just insanity. The only thing that they have that they can say about everybody's history is that it's not real. I remember sitting in high school. I don't want to be on this website for too long because it's not mine. And there, so you can pause that and read it if you'd like. And also, again, it's northspirit.com, so credit goes to the website. Now, I'll go back over here and finish my rant. I remember sitting in high school and having a teacher. It wasn't even a teacher. It was the assistant principal. For some reason, I'd get picked out for the weirdest things. And I mean, I didn't talk about weird things in school at all. I just didn't. And I got picked out to be the one that the substitute, who was actually the assistant principal, he wanted to make a point about how the Egyptian, was it the Egyptian gods? No, it was the Native Americans. He wanted to say that, like, basically, like, some point of view that he was making was right. So I don't know if it was, I think it was Protestantism, or maybe it was just modern day thinking. I can't really remember, but basically going on this to-do about how none of the Native American gods were real. The things that they believed weren't really, you know, like they made it into they personified the sun and this, that, and the other thing, and then it was really just none of it was real. And I thought, why is he focusing on me to make sure I'm checking in on this one? Like, he's like, right, you know, like looking at me, and like, I'm like, oh yeah, oh man, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't even know why he was looking at me. Like, I get picked out for the weirdest things in the school. But I didn't have a clue about any of this, but I remember thinking, why did he make such a point to try to say that, like, their beliefs were just made up? And I mean, and I didn't really think a whole lot about it until many years later, because, you know, it was just school, and I really wasn't, I was only there because I had to be at that point. So, I think education is important. I don't want to negate that, but, like, some of us just are not in that. We need more. And I was there. When you're sitting in chemistry class and there's beings coming through other dimensions and, like, interacting with you, and you're like, oh, what do I do now? I'm sitting in chemistry class and now I've got this going, you know, like, and you just have to pretend like nothing's happening. So some of us are beyond the public school Prussian version of the education system, and I'm not going to go down that road right now, but they say these beings are imaginary, and who benefits from everybody being cut off from their ancestry? The ones that want you to think that they're God. And I'll leave it there. So I'm going to pause this for a minute and go down another